Hey Greg, how's it going? We're going to be going over your trap bar deadlift and some of your squat. You have a few things going on that we need to fix, and once we fix them, you should be able to pull a good bit more. So the first things first is we have our squat here on the left. This is you squatting around 255 a few weeks ago. We're going to have rep 3 of your heaviest set from your last workout in the middle, and then rep 1 from your heaviest set um, from your last workout. So an important thing to note here is that the changes you're seeing from rep 1 here on the right to rep 3 here in the middle are not going to be fatigue related changes. So fatigue related change would be, let's say if your spine went completely unlocked and completely rounded during the deadlift, or let's say that your knees caved in on the squat and your thoracic spine rounded on the squat. So those are fatigue related changes where essentially you can't control the correct position. The difference between your rep 1 and your rep 3 form on your trap bar deadlift is you're making your rep 1 significantly harder than it needs to be, and on reps 2 and 3 you're dialing into the efficient form. Some of these things are pretty self-organizing once you get going with them. So this is where you should end up, and we're going to note the similarities between that and your squat. So how we determine our hip height in the conventional deadlift is going to be because our shins are in contact with the bar. So that's going to control our shin angle, which is going to control our hip height. Because if our hips go higher, our knees come back. If our hips go lower, our knees come forward. Now with the trap bar deadlift, one of the reasons I don't really like it is that you don't have that feedback mechanism for as where your shins need to stop. In this situation, and specifically for your anthropometry, you're going to be better at trap bar deadlifting, conventional deadlifting, no matter what you do. Even if you never train trap bar deadlifting again, only conventional, your trap bar will always be better than your conventional. And this is because you can get more like your squat, your knees can come a lot forward. So if you look at, so the distance right here, the horizontal distance when your knee is coming forward in front of your arm, in this one, your arm is more bent because you're trying to pull it back closer to midfoot. And in this one, the knee is significantly farther forward of your forearm, and your arms are more straight. Now, this is exactly the frame where the bar is just about to break off of the ground. The bracing is the same. The back extension is good for all of them. Really no complaints there. But essentially, you need to be thinking about getting good thoracic extension and dropping your hips down. So the reason that we have the squat in here is just to compare these two back angles and see how similar they are. You have a pretty rare case with your build, but what you need to be focusing on is pulling your shoulders behind you, just like with the bench and everything else, and putting your chest out in front of you. So in this image here, on your right, your shoulders are basically just pulling down and you're making really no active effort to pull anything back. So if you were pulling your shoulders down and back towards your hips, your arms wouldn't be bending, but right now your arms are bending because it's doing the job of that shoulder, supposing to move the load backwards. Now here on the left, what I would like you to be doing is thinking about pulling your shoulders back in this direction. It's going to make it more similar to your squat. They're not actually going to elevate, but what I want you to think about doing is pushing your chest down and through to the front. So pretty similar to your squatting, I want you to think about putting your chest in front of you, leaving your shoulders behind you, and not having such a rounded upper back like in this in this right image. Rounding your upper back is not dangerous, or there's nothing really wrong with it. It's just going to be slightly less efficient for your specific deadlift and squatting form. The reason for this is going to be if we can get that upper back really extended, you're going to be able to drop your hips down significantly lower, get those knees more forward. And then really you should be moving a good bit more weight than this. Now the next thing I wanted to bring up is going to be this guy right here. Okay, so on the right we have, I want to say it was your last set of your paused pulls, and on the left we still have that same squatting image. Now for this one, what I want you to notice is your shin angle. So basically the normal shin angle we talk about is when viewed from the side plane, about basically how far off of vertical they are or perpendicular from the ground they are. In this image, I want you to note where they're pulling from. So if we were to extend this line here, your shin is pointing in towards you. Another reason that the conventional deadlift doesn't have any problems with this is because when your shins hit that bar, you know your next job is to shove them out. You don't have to think about where they're going in time and space because there's a bar in front of you as a constraint. In your squat, you're shoving your knees out great. Your squat's looking really good. I don't really have any complaints about it right now. And since you're shoving those knees out, you can drop your hips down. In your conventional, trap bar pulls, your knees are coming in off of the ground, and then that's, it's causing a little bit of a cascade of problems. So what I need you to focus on from now on with your trap bar deadlifts is shoving your knees out to the side. So when I'm saying out to the side, I mean in this direction right here. Really, you're just going to want to think about making it as identical to your squat as you humanly can, and then just keeping, those long straight arms. Other than that, these pulls are looking really good. Your strength is coming along basically at about the progress we can get being natural. And then for tomorrow, you're going to be hitting up, what do we got here? Go to 200. We got 4 sets to failure at 205. This is going to be a little bit up in the air depending on how your thumb feels. The important thing is that I don't want you to take a thumbless grip. So if you take a thumbless grip, just don't bench at all. If you can bench, that means you're going to be benching with your thumb around the bar. The thumbless grip is a little bit too dangerous for my taste. We're going to do 4 sets to failure at 205. Hopefully you can get in a significant amount of rest here. If you have the trade-off of saying I can either get all of these sets done but with short rest, drop your chin-ups. You'll find a place to do them over the weekend. Make sure you're getting a pretty ample amount of rest. So upwards of 2.5 to 3 minutes for your bench press sets. For your squat, you're going to be redoing your 2x5 at 265, then some more back off sets of 8 at 225. If you get under the bar and this 220, or excuse me, this 265 feels absurdly heavy, just take this to 4 sets of 8 at 225. I can't imagine this being the case, but I need you to get a pretty decent amount of volume in, and those extra 2 reps are really going to trade off where I need them to. So again, these are the options. I'll send you a screenshot of this right as soon as I'm done with the video, and thanks for watching.